everyone. We welcome you all to the University Fair program organized by the Knowledge Confluence and EduTV. The Knowledge Confluence has adeptly curated a number of innovative projects and inspired creative partnerships across the globe. We now invite Dr. Kamlesh Misra, Vice Chancellor, Ansal University, to talk about career choices in the changing world.
All right, I don't have a presentation. And the reason I don't have a presentation is because I want you to focus on what I'm going to talk. How many of you sitting here, class 11 and 12, plan to go outside India to study? Just raise your hands. Okay. Thank you. Let me begin with a couple of questions and then I'll try and help you. My job today is not to tell you about Ansal University and what degree programs are there. Everything is available online. You can go and you can see outside also. You'll get that information. My objective is to help you make some decisions and understand certain parameters that you should use to make decisions about your life and your careers. How many of you would like to be teachers? All right, I see 3 hands. All right. Thank you. I'll talk about this at the end. Let me begin by telling you that the world that you are going to live is going to be very, very different. It's completely different. In the next 5 years, the television in your living room is not going to exist. You will not have it. More than 1 million people will lose their jobs in the next 10 years because there will be no need for drivers. You'll have driverless cars. So everything that is going to happen is going to be very, very different from what you have been seeing today. 50% of all current jobs will not exist anymore. However, millions of new jobs will come, which we have not even heard about. So India is going through a major, major transformation. And we need to recognize that and we need to see. So you need to plan your careers not based on today, but what's going to happen in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. How many of you have already made your decision on what you want to do? Wow, that's DPS. I'm really happy because most of the places I go, I don't see any hands up. So congratulations to DPS. By the way, my 2 kids also were from DPS. And they did pretty well. So with that background, let me also tell you, one works for a company called Snapchat. Have you heard of Snapchat? And the second one works for a company called Uber. Heard of it? Yeah. Both in the United States. Now, let me also begin by telling you that anything that you are going to do, please take some risk. Don't be afraid of taking risk when you are beginning to make a career choice. The process that you need to use, I know you are going to be, especially if you are in class 12, you will start coming under pressure because you need to take the exam, you need to do well in the exam. And the easiest way that students use process of career choice is, I'm going to do this because my friends are doing it. I'm going to go into X university because my friends are going there. Let me tell you first thing, please don't follow your friends. Ho gaya. Now it's a process of building your life. If you become successful in building your life, you will have so many friends that you will have to keep a secretary to manage them. And if you don't become successful, I'm telling you, even if you see them on the road, they will move away from you. That's how the world functions. So begin to think about choosing. The conventional choices that students normally use is, how many of you want to be an engineer? Ah. Okay. All right, that's a generational shift. Okay? So conventionally, students normally want to become an engineer or a doctor. That's how it used to be. And very honestly, I wanted to be an engineer. I didn't become an engineer. I became an economist and then I became a vice chancellor. Don't regret it. But please remember that the way that the economy is shifting gears today, the kind of people that will be required, if you are thinking about getting into engineering, one of the disciplines that will never decline in the field of engineering, and you must know, it's not that you have to go for it, that's called computer science. Computer science is a discipline that will not decline for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Because everything that is going to happen in the future is going to be based on the science of computers. Everything. So there can be no declines. That does not mean that other fields are not good. You have to make one decision today. The kind of world that you are going to live in when you enter into the job market or when you come to your middle ages is going to be a world where mediocrity will have no place. So no matter what you choose to do, you need to be on the top 20%. The biggest challenge today we face in India, we say that our engineers are not employable. Students who graduate are not employable. It does not mean that there are no jobs. But the problem is that we are producing too many people in the middle ranges only, averages. And this country is not going to have a place for averages. So you need to be in the top whenever you make the choice. So the first thing that you need to do is to decide what is it that you want to do? What is it that excites you? What is it that you feel good about? Right? And somebody may say, you know, I love music. Music is something that gives me the excitement, gives me the thrill. And I know sometimes your parents will say, kya karoge? What are you going to do doing music? But if you tell them that you will become A.R. Rahman, they'll be very happy. They will be the first one to stand and go for a panel discussion on the television to take credit of what you have achieved. So the important thing is first search your soul. What is it that you like? Do you enjoy what you are going to do? Because if you do something that you really love, something that you are very passionate about, you will do very well in your life. That's for 100% sure. You don't even have to worry about it. But look at new age courses. So what are new age courses? Well, let me tell you openly because I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm only here to give you advice. Consider courses in design very, very carefully. Good courses. Design is going to be the future of this country. And you need to really think about design, architecture, biotechnology, anything related with computers, hardcore sciences, mathematics. These are all going to be areas of high levels of growth in the new economy, which you need to think about very, very seriously. So don't have to be worried only about the conventional courses. Move out also and spread out and look. So how do I know that whether I like something? Sometimes when we begin to make a career choice, we begin to see, isme paisa kitna milega? And there is nothing wrong in you thinking about it, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong in thinking about financially how is it going to be. Well, become an investment banker and you can make a lot of money. But in order to become an investment banker, you need to specialize either in economics or in finance. And you can become an investment banker. But please remember that if you specialize in economics or finance, and you are an average student, you will not become an investment banker. And that you have to be very clear. And trust me, in the job market today, there are a lot of openings at the top. There are too many vacancies. There is too much of crowd at the bottom because that's where the mediocres are hitting the market. So you need to excel in any of those areas that you do. Please remember that. Don't feel that if you don't become a doctor, your life is gone. I have a lot of friends who are doctors, and I don't want to say what happens. So only good people make it. So when you begin to choose, how do you choose? Like somebody once told me that, well, I'm very confused. I start thinking about one thing and then I realize after 1 week that this is not what I want to do. I have an interest in something else. Well, many of you, especially the boys, when you are very, very young and somebody asked you what you want to be, the answer was very simple. I want to be a truck driver. Now, why did you want to become a truck driver? Because at that age, money was not a consideration in your mind. What was in consideration in mind was this huge truck, very powerful, right? It was sense of power with that truck that made you realize you want to be a truck driver. You grew up a little bit, then you wanted to become a pilot. You became a little more sophisticated. और जैसे जैसे जिंदगी बीतती गई, आपके पैर जमीन पर आते गए. And then you started realizing that I need to do something that will make a life for me, right? So don't worry if you are really confused. And I'm honestly telling you, if there is somebody who is not confused, then you are not normal. You must be confused at this point. This is the breaking point. All your confusions have to be at this stage only. So what do I do? How do I change this? Well, very simple. I want to be an engineer. Now the second question is, what engineer do you want to be? There are so many disciplines in engineering. You can be a mechanical engineer, you can be a civil engineer, you can be a computer engineer. There are so many options. Electrical engineer. So the question is that which engineer? So you need to narrow down now what you want to become. So if you decide that you want to become a mechanical engineer, what was the basis of your decision? Do you have sufficient information to make that decision? Most of the time, we don't have information. We have role models, or we have neighbors, or family members who probably have been engineers, they have been successful. I want to be that. I think what you need to do is to seek information. At this point, you are a seeker of information. Seek information on the discipline that you have an interest in. If you want to be a mechanical engineer, find out more about mechanical engineering. What does it involve? What are the career paths? What are your progression paths? What do you become at the end of, let's say, around 40 years, 45 years? Where is your career going to be, right? And please remember one thing. There are so many students here from class 12, same school, same teachers, same syllabus. The results will be different for different people. And that is going to be based on only one thing: hard work. That's the only thing that is going to matter. And that differential will start showing up from the exam. Now, many of you will also come to a point where after your class 12th, you will find that maybe you did not make it to that level where you were expecting yourself to make. You still have time. First, please work very hard. This is the breaking point. You will need to work very, very hard for your class 12. Give your best. And after the results come out, if you don't move where you want to be or where you expected, please remember, it's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world, right? But let me also tell you something. Please do not keep this in your mind. Oh, Dhirubhai Ambani did not have any education and he became a multimillionaire. Steve Jobs dropped out of college and he's a big man. You have so many examples, right? My friends, let me tell you, please do not try this on yourself. Don't try. All right? Because you only know one or two or three or four who made it out of the millions who did not have that kind of background. The success rate of those people who have done well in their studies is very, very high. Very high. The success rate of those people who did not do well in their educational endeavors is not very high. It's hardly 2 to 3%. So don't count that and don't try it at home at all. This is a very, very risky one. Okay? Finally, want you to understand a couple of things before you start making this decision. Please choose your area, that is the discipline first. Don't choose the university first. Choose the discipline. What is it that you want to do? Talk to your counselors, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, talk to your neighbors, talk to people as much as possible. Keep gathering information. Even if you're not able to make a decision, it's fine. It's okay. 50% of the students who come into undergraduate programs haven't decided what they want to do. For those of you who are going abroad or plan to go abroad, you don't have to worry. You can change your majors. You will be more blessed. Because you can go and join as an English major and graduate as a doctor. That's possible. Unfortunately, if you're going to stay in India, that's not going to be possible. At least the stream you need to decide. You want to go into engineering? You need to go into engineering. You can change your engineering field after the first year. Most colleges still allow you to switch from, let's say, computer engineering to electrical engineering or mechanical engineering into civil engineering, because first year courses are more or less identical across most sub-disciplines. So you still have option, but having done engineering, it becomes very difficult for you to get into a BBA program as a lateral entry. It'll be difficult. So first, choose the discipline. Choose what area you want to. Second, after that, then your process of searching for a university or a college is going to start. How do you choose? Because now it's more confusing. You have too many choices. Life was so good when we had only ambassador cars. You have to buy only that. Today it's very difficult. The same is the choice with universities and colleges, because there are so many of them, you don't know which one to go. Let me give you some tips. Please visit every college or university that you have an interest in first, if you are in India. Don't take blind admission. You must visit the campus. You must see the people. You must meet them. You must get a feel of the place, smell the place. And I'm telling you, when you walk into any university or college, right from the gate, you'll start getting the feel. Is this a place for me? Am I feeling comfortable? Is the environment that is there is conducive for me? Do I like it? Do I not like it? That's important. Then look at who are the teachers. What is going to matter is who is going to teach. Evaluate teachers. Try and talk to them. I always feel that if I were to walk into a college or a university with my son or a daughter, and if the top people are not willing to see me, I'm very scared now. Because that's not a student-centric place. A student-centric place is one which allows openness. Openness for debates, openness to agree, openness to disagree. That's the kind of environment that you want to be looking for when you are going into choosing a college or a university. Please do not choose because your girlfriend or boyfriend is going to some place. It's not going to work. Okay? Because both of you will fail. That's 100%. And that's one reason that if your girlfriend or boyfriend is going somewhere, please go somewhere else. Avoid those situations. All right? One other point. Please listen to your parents. I know you are at a stage in your life where whatever your friends say has better meaning than what your parents say. But please listen to them and please remember this one thing. There is nobody in this world who is more concerned about your career than your parents and your teachers. These are the only two people who have a concern for you and your career. So please listen to them. You don't have to agree to everything, but you need to listen to them and you need to convince them of what are your interests. And that's must. Okay? And 99% of the time you will not like what they say. Your normal hai, this is part of growing up. Okay? But you don't have to fight. You need to debate. You need to indulge in debate. Okay? Have dinner with them because that's the time they talk less, you get to talk more. Right? Find that convenient time where they are good listeners. Talk to them, tell them about what you feel about certain things, and I'm sure that you will come up with lot of logic and rationale for what you want to do as a person going ahead in life. Finally, before I leave you, just 3 things for you to carry with you, and I think it's important for all students to know. Please respect your parents, respect your teachers, and respect your nation. These are the 3 things that are very, very important for you as you move on in life. Lot of people they keep telling that is generation ka kuch nahi hoga. Because this generation is always on the phone. How many of you are on Facebook? I am also there, don't worry. All right, so what I'm trying to tell you is that your generation is a digital generation. You are changing everything, and that should give you the idea of where we are going as a nation. You are changing the very language itself. You are evolving a new form of language. GR8 is great. And the problem is that you are starting to write it in your exam also. So be relaxed, have great fun, Please do one thing, study very, very hard for your class 12. This is going to make it. Spend the night studying, do whatever is possible, but get good grades. If you don't get good grades, all that choice has no meaning. That's the secondary part. So at this point, your focus should be on doing well on your class 12 exam. Be happy, enjoy yourself, all the best.
Should I go to visual communication? Should I go to interior architecture? Should I go to product design? And in product design, what are the domains?
We should move back so that we can get the next section.